Welcome to Experiments in Happiness with Michelle Lemus, the podcast for high-achieving women who've checked all the boxes but still feel something's missing.
There's a particular kind of exhaustion that doesn't come from doing too much. It comes from fighting reality. And if you've ever felt completely drained, even though you technically didn't do that much, this might be why. You know the feeling. Plans fall apart. Someone doesn't behave the way you expected. Life delivers something you never would have chosen. And suddenly, all of your energy slides into this invisible mental wrestling match. This shouldn't be happening. This isn't fair. This isn't how it was supposed to go. I need to fix this. I need to make this stop. It's like standing on the shore trying to hold back the ocean with your bare hands. And here's the spoiler no one likes: the ocean doesn't care. And yet, so many of us keep trying anyway. We don't just experience life, so we argue with it. And that argument is exhausting. Most of our misery doesn't actually come from the situation itself. It comes from the resistance. We replay conversations we can't undo. We try to control people who have zero interest in being controlled. We demand certainty from a world that is fundamentally unpredictable. We grip outcomes long after it's clear they're not ours to manage. It's not the storm that drains us. It's believing we should be able to stop the rain. I can say this with absolute honesty. I have wasted months of my life, okay, probably years, fighting things I could never change. Someone else's opinion, someone's reaction, delays and detours, timing that wasn't convenient, legal situations that were already set in motion, endings I didn't want. And every single time, I told myself the same story. If I just push hard enough, this will go the way I want. But here's the painful truth I had to learn the long way around. You can influence many things. You can control far fewer than you think. And learning the difference, that's where freedom begins. We are wired for control. Feeling in control feels safe. It tells our nervous system, I've got this. I'm okay. So when uncertainty shows up, when life stops cooperating, our brain goes into overdrive. Fix it, manage it, force it, overthink it until it obeys. We try to grip harder. We tell ourselves peace will come after this gets resolved, after this person changes, after this situation shifts, after this uncertainty disappears. But that fight keeps us stuck in survival mode. It keeps us buzzing, tense, hypervigilant. It convinces us that peace is something we earn by winning the battle, when really, peace begins the moment we stop strangling reality. Letting go is not weakness, it's wisdom. It's saying, I choose not to hand my emotional well being over to something I cannot change. That's not giving up. That's power. There's a huge misunderstanding about surrender. People think surrender means lying down and accepting a life you don't want. It doesn't. Surrender means you stop bleeding energy into fights you were never meant to win. It means you stop confusing control with safety. Because here's what actually happens when you stop fighting what you can't control. Life doesn't necessarily get easier, but you do. Your nervous system stops buzzing on high alert. Your brain has space to think again. Your heart slows down. Your energy comes back online. And instead of obsessing over what you can't change, your attention naturally returns to what you can influence. Your response, your boundaries, your actions, your internal story, your next step. This shift from external chaos to internal agency is where happiness lives. Not because life suddenly becomes calm, but because you do. Happiness isn't the absence of difficulty, it's the presence of clarity. And clarity comes when you stop wasting energy on battles that were never yours. So I want to offer you an experiment, not a dramatic surrender, not a spiritual bypass, just a daily practice that gently teaches your system the difference between influence and illusion. For the next week, try this. Once a day, anytime, write down 3 things that are stressing you out. Big things, small things, that doesn't matter. Just get them out of your head and onto paper. Then draw a line down the page. On one side, write, can control. On the other side, right, cannot control. And this part matters. Be honest, not hopeful, not idealistic, honest. Sort each stressor into one of those two columns. You'll probably notice something right away. Most of what's draining you doesn't actually belong in the can control column. Then comes the most important part. For anything in the can control column, write one small next action, not a life overhaul, just the next doable step. And for everything in the cannot control column, write this sentence underneath it. I am releasing my expectation that this must change for me to be okay. Let that land. You're not saying it's okay. You're saying your peace doesn't depend on it changing. And then close with one simple question. What would peace look like right now? Not forever, not once everything is resolved, right now. Some days, peace looks like rest. Some days, it looks like a boundary. Some days, it looks like acceptance. Some days, it looks like choosing not to replay the same mental argument for the 15th time. No force, no pressure, just practice. What usually surprises people is how many things end up in the cannot control bucket and how heavy they've been carrying them. Letting go doesn't make you powerless. It stops you from giving your power away. You don't surrender because you're weak. You surrender because it's the only way to stop leaking energy into resistance. Letting go isn't giving up. It's choosing peace over friction, clarity over chaos, alignment over ego. It's saying, I trust myself enough to stop fighting life and start working with it. And some days, that's the bravest thing you can do, because when you stop trying to control everything, something unexpected happens. Life gets quieter, not because the mess disappears, but because you're no longer at war with it. And in that quiet, possibilities start to appear. Options you couldn't see when all your energy was tied up in resistance. Relief sneaks in, space opens, and you realize something important. You were never meant to carry everything.
Thanks for listening to Experiments in Happiness. You can find more tools and resources at experimentsinhappiness.com.